Hey guys, it's Laura with Dwyer Valley Homestead. Tonight I'm going to show you how I make my drop biscuits. I must apologize for the lighting. I'm losing lighting quickly from outside and my overhead lighting does not make things look very nice, okay? Alright, so first of all, what we're going to do, I'm already doing this, is you need to preheat your oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. After you preheat your oven to 450 degrees, you're going to start combining your ingredients. For this, you're going to need 2 cups of flour. This can be all-purpose. You can even make a wheat biscuit if you want. It's not too picky on the type of flour you use. Let's see. Okay, there's my 2 cups of flour. I buy in bulk, so it kind of gets divvied up in containers and bags and such. You need 1 tablespoon of sugar. You're going to need 1 tablespoon of baking powder and a teaspoon of salt. I like my sea salt. You can use regular table salt if you want. I'm a fan of sea salt. Okay, so what you're going to do at this point is you've got all your dry ingredients in the bowl. You're going to want to mix them up real quick, kind of get it all in there nice and even. See? It's all mixed together. Not that you can really tell because all the ingredients are white up to this point. Alright, so the next step is you're going to add in a 1/2 cup of butter. You want it cold butter, you don't want it softened. 1/2 cup is generally a stick unless you buy the really big brick that's just solid butter. Usually if you buy the packs that have the individual sticks in it, it's about a 1/2 cup for each stick. What I did here is I kind of cut it up a little bit, a lot bit, so that I can mix it in to my flour. And what you're going to do is if you have a pastry cutter, you can use that. But I have a fork. I don't have that fancy gizmo. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my fork and I'm going to kind of mash the bits in here so that it gets incorporated. And I'm going to continue doing this until it looks kind of crumbly and crummy all throughout the dough. Okay, I'm going to skip this video ahead so that you don't have to watch me continuing to mush this. It just takes a little bit longer depending on how cold your butter is. Again, you really don't want it warmed up because, I don't know, the recipe called for cold butter. I guess if I softened it a little bit, it wouldn't have hurt it. Okay, guys, I'm cheating a little bit now. I'm kind of using my hand to incorporate the butter a little bit better into the flour. I'm trying to think why it's being such a pain this time. Pretty sure that when I made these before I had used the tub butter, but I'm trying to get away from that as much as possible because it's not real butter. It's got a good portion of vegetable oil in it. And when I've been buying the stick butters, I've been looking for the ones where that are 2 ingredient, that's made out of cream and salt. Done. Because all the other extra stuff in there, goodness, I don't think it's good for you. Do your own research, read your own articles. What I've read, I don't like. So I'm trying to get more healthy, more homemade, less processed. Not there yet. It's a work in progress. Okay, I win. You can see that my stuff is rather crumbly looking. That's how you want it. I think the reason why they want you to use cold butter is if you make an actual biscuit. But this recipe is altered for the drop biscuits. So the fact that they want cold butter, like with other pastries that you make, if you have cold butter and you incorporate it in, it kind of makes flaky layers. But for a drop biscuit, you don't really need that. So I'm thinking that you can soften it a little bit to make it a little easier to incorporate if you're making the drop biscuits like I am. But I went back and forth between using my hands to kind of incorporate it together and using the fork. Yeah, that's the crumbly texture you want when making your biscuits. Okay, so the next step is we're going to be adding a cup of milk to this mixture, and we're going to stir it together really well. Since I'm making drop biscuits, we want it a little, not exactly liquidy, but you don't want it like dough. You want it closer to batter. So let's measure out a cup of milk. Okay, pouring the milk in. Ta-da! Okay, I'm goofy. I know it. My husband married me. He loves me. Okay. Now you're gonna, sorry. Now you're gonna mix together your milk and your butter and your powdered ingredients together. So it's really easy if you don't have rock hard cold butter. Oops. First you mix all your dry ingredients together, you incorporate your butter until you have crummy texture, and then next you stir in your milk to get, ooh, I know, it's like cookie dough texture. But you want something that's not going to be liquid and dropping off your spoon, but you don't want something that's smooth and elasticy, because this is really sticky. You don't want it smooth and elasticy like you're making bread. Yeah, it's all mixed together now. So my next step here, I'm going to be putting it on my cookie sheet. Okay, I lined my cookie sheet with some parchment paper because it makes cleanup a world easier. And the recipe doesn't call for you to grease the pan, probably because you use a stick of butter to make 12 biscuits. So what you're going to do, you're going to take your cookie dough, your biscuit dough, I gotta catch myself, and you're going to put it on your cookie sheet. Okay, so I have my dough divided up. I made 11 instead of 12, so they're big. At this point, you can go ahead and put them in the oven and cook them plain if you don't want to add garlic or cheddar. But this is my twist on the recipe. I went ahead and I did a classic drop biscuit recipe. Now, I'm going to go ahead and dust it with some garlic powder. One day I'm hoping to be able to hold a jar of stuff I've grown out of my own garden, and I dehydrated and I ground up, but I'm not quite that advanced on homesteading yet. I'm working on it. Until then, my little 88-cent thing from Walmart works great. So, garlic powder, and you're going to dust the tops of all your biscuits. I don't have an exact amount of how much you put on top because it's going to go based on you and your family. If you love garlic, by all means, go crazy. If you're okay with garlic, just sprinkle just a tad bit on. We're about so medium in the middle. Now, the next step, the ooey gooey goodness. Okay, it doesn't get gooey, it kind of gets crispy on the top of it. It's fine. Take some cheddar cheese, or any kind of cheese, Colby Jack, Monterey Jack, Mexican style blend, whatever cheese floats your boat. Go ahead and sprinkle some over the top of your biscuits. Okay, with the cheese, again, the amount is totally up to you. You can completely omit it from the recipe. You can put a bunch on, put a little on. I'm a little less than sparing on it. Okay, I put a lot on. I like cheese. So now, this is what your biscuits are going to look like. For me, now is the time I'm going to go ahead and put them in my oven. I'll be back. Okay, guys. So these biscuits usually take between 10 and 12 minutes to cook. You're going to want them light golden brown. Bottom done. Since I made my biscuits a little bit bigger, it took between 12 and 14 minutes. They've got a light golden brown color to them. The cheese is crisped up nicely. So, I'm going to break one of these open. It's still hot. Probably can't see the steam coming out of it. But look how fluffy that is. It's probably due to the pain in the butt cold butter. Probably makes it worth it being a bit stubborn and hard to work with since I use stick butter. But look how fluffy that is, how soft. I know that they're one of my family's favorites. I'm hoping they'll be one of yours too. But you got a nice crispy outside. Got some good flavor from the garlic and the cheddar. And a very soft, fluffy inside. These are delicious. Okay, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Talk to you later. Bye. Say hi to YouTube.
Hi.
Hi, YouTube.